Managers Private Limited. He is a postgraduate in Business Administration from IFPA Business School and a CFA with over 24 years of experience in fund management. He has a wealth of experience and an impressive track record in fund management both for resident and overseas investors. He heads the overall equity and fixed income investment operations for Bank of India Investment Managers as Chief Investment Officer, and his remarkable achievement includes growing the company's asset under management from 100 crore to approximately rupees 12,000 crore since his joining in April 2012. So yes, it's time to welcome our speaker, Mr. Alok Singh, to kindly join us. Put your hands together, please. Welcome, sir. So yes, once again, give it up, please.
Thank you for having me here, and I think after an insightful session from my colleague Gopal, I think it is the other part which we have been always struggling is and which has been asked to be presented by me is the volatility, and that is something which actually is very easily said than managed, because every time we face that, we face the same amount of anxiety. So if you look at, this is the chart which we have seen, like this is from 1915 till the recent time. Volatility is something which keeps on appearing again and again and again. But what happens is, and this is a Dow Jones chart because India does not have that longer chart history. Every time we hear this statement that this time it is different, and it is not that we have, because as we pass through a phase, right, markets do build their playbook, right? If we are passing through a road, and that road we were zipping on at 50 kilometers per hour, and suddenly our car's tire hit a pothole, right? So after we hit, we know that there is a pothole, right? And the next time we cross that, we are more careful about it, and that's what we call in the markets term that there's a playbook which is there, that okay, if this happens, right? So every time there is an event happens, there is a playbook which get developed, and that playbook allows you to be cautious next time. So for it to disturb, it has to be slightly different, and that's why we say that it has to be slightly different, only then we will have a more disturbance, and that is what exactly is happening, as what we dwell upon on the previous session in the tariffs, right? Once we have because there is so much of flip-flop happening, one day we are having a deal, next day we are not having a deal, so the markets are not able to find that playbook, right? And that's why if you look at the classic example is that, if you go back say 10-15 years back, when the wars used to erupt, the markets volatility used to be much higher than what we have seen these days. But we have seen now we are seeing Ukraine being fought for last 3 years. We recently had Iran getting erupted, but there was some volatility, but it was not as high volatility as it was in the previous history. So why? Because the markets have learned that once a particular things happen, this is how we come out of it, and that is where the people start behaving in a different way, and the answer to volatility is only experience, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, that you have to live through that to see it, that when it comes to you next time, how will you handle it? And in that phase, it is always wise to let the volatility pass by, because once if you look at these red phases are the drawdowns days, which is typically more impactful impacted by the volatility, but the volatility lives for a very shorter period of time, or the drawdowns live for a shorter period of time. If you look at in this chart, the green bars are much more than the red bars, right? So if you stay calm in that and just try to build your playbook, I think that helps you manage the wealth better and let it multiply. We have a young population, it is a growing population. We don't have liberty to grow at 5.5%, right? At 5.5%, 475, we may still be the fastest growing economy, right? Our problem is that if we don't go fast enough, then we are not developing resources, we are not generating opportunities for the large number of population which is demanding that. And if that does not happen, right?